Nick Gallo, Bally Sports. Just want to ask you about the way that your team kind of hung in there throughout this one and gave itself a chance in clutch time again.
Yeah, I thought I told the team after the game, if we got a week left of the regular season, and if we bring the same level of focus, competitiveness, physicality, execution of game plan, if we bring the same level of that to all these games, we'll be able to lay our head on the pillow at night. Because I just thought we played at a really high level today, and they were just the better team on this day. But, we did a lot of good things. We shot more free throws, turned it over less, more points off turnovers, more second chance points, made 2 less threes. I just thought the difference in the game was like the shot making. They made some tough shots that you have to tip your hat to, and they made some shots that were kind of plan B plays. Like we took away the initial stuff, and they, to their credit, on this day, rose up and made them. And so you got to tip your hat and keep it moving. But for our purposes, we got to bottle this up and bring this again on Tuesday or whenever we play again and keep it rolling.
It seemed like you all were changing up defenses throughout the night. Eventually went to Lou on Durant in the fourth. Then they put him in the corner and kind of took him away from the center of the floor. Can you just kind of break down that dynamic of how you were able to seem like bog them down a little bit and force those post-ups?
Yeah, I thought, like I said, we were switching things up pretty fluidly throughout the game. And the whole key to that is the alertness of the team and the players, and I just thought our focus level, our execution of that today was high level. And like I said, on a lot of possessions, we made them beat us with plan B, and to their credit, they did. So you tip your hat, but in terms of what we could control, I was really pleased with how we played.
Just to kind of follow up on that, like J-Dub, Wiggins, Dort all had their turns on Durant. Like J-Dub specifically for a rookie, I know you're not going to stop Durant from scoring, but like, what are you as a coach like looking for out of him in that matchup?
Kind of what he did. You got to fight him off spots. You got to contest everything. Dub's got great length, and you've got to kind of throw his rhythm off in whatever way that you can. And I thought Durant got into a little bit of a rhythm with the cuts off the ball. And was just getting to spots. And I thought Dort did a really good job in the fourth quarter, especially of getting him off of some of those spots. But for Dub's purposes, these guys are like really good players that he's guarding, and he's doing it every night. And he's done it every night now for 50 straight games. And it's an acquired skill, like you get a feel, just like you learn the pictures on offense or defense in the NBA. Your first time going against some of these guys is difficult. Kevin Durant's been doing this for a decade, and Dub's been doing it for 29 minutes. So it's a learned skill, but you need to go through it. And certainly he's a guy as quick of a study as he is. The next time he gets to play him, he'll be better because he's done that in every other facet of his game.
Trapping Booker early, even from the opening tip, is that kind of a way to send a message, or what were you trying to do there?
On the opening tip?
Well, just, was the opening tip related to that? Because I know J-Dub was in the circle for the jump ball, which was unusual.
Yeah, we trapped him last game, and it was effective, and it was just a quick little reminder, and, let him know we're coming today.
Ask you about a couple of bench guys. Isaiah Joe, obviously, he's had, difficulty shooting the ball the last couple of games. Just how do you, without making it about him, how do you keep that encouraged, letting him know that you still need him to be a part of this team and be a big contributor? And then it seems like every other month we had to, kind of talk about Aaron Wiggins and his ability to stay a pro and come in and give you big minutes whenever he does.
Yeah, big minutes. He was really good today. In a lot of stretches, he's just so reliable on both ends of the floor, Wiggs. And then Isaiah, the thing that I've said all along, even when he was scorching in some of these games, is his, he's a rounded player, and that allows you to keep him on the floor. And in this case, it allows you to play him through a rough shooting stretch. In terms of his shooting, I'm just going to go and sit in the grass outside and wait a little bit, and he'll just start making them again. I'm not going to overcoach that.
Andrew Schlechter, The Athletic. You kind of touched on this at the beginning when you were talking about the way that the team played, but I'm just curious your thoughts on Lou tonight. He was kind of everywhere to start the game and kind of continued to be that throughout the game. And obviously that's not anything new, but it seemed to be just a little bit more today.
Yeah, I think he just has a sixth sense for competitive situations. It just seems to bring out the best in him. He rises to competition. I've said that many times about him. And when the level of game gets amped up, he amps up with it and stays ahead of it. And he's always been like that from the first game we put him in. We played him in a Minnesota game here. I think that was his first game. And we were down some guys. We ended up winning on the baseball pass, but he ended up getting a loose ball in that game. And it was like from the first possession the guy played, he's been like that. And he's always been like that. And like I said, at this point, a couple years later, it's now become contagious. And with the youngest team in the league, physicality, fearlessness, competitiveness are essential ingredients for us to compete with these types of teams and to grow. And he's got a contagiousness about him there. And when he brings that, it amps up our team.
The race for 10th or 9th or wherever you guys are at is really tight. How much are you watching like other teams' scores or like looking at box scores after the game is over? Like Dallas lost and you guys are super tight and you kind of need them to continue to lose. But thoughts on just the race overall?
We're aware of the scores. We're not like, blinding ourselves from the scores. But the best way to win a race is to, keep your head down and run your race as fast as you can and as best as you can. And at the end of the day, last season, this season, next season, season after that, that's a learned skill, is to be able to keep your head down and to just run as fast as you can and allow that to lead you wherever it leads you. And if we do that, we'll be able to lay our head on the pillow at night knowing that we gave it our best shot no matter what happens. And knowing that, by throwing our best punch, that's how we're going to grow and improve the team, which, again, as I've said all along, is our number one goal. We're not going to allow a short-term goal to get in the way of what we're building because we think we're building something special and something much bigger than one season.
What was it like to be in a battle like that? It seemed like you guys were just executing toe-to-toe with a really veteran, really experienced team all night.
Yeah, I thought we tried to do the right things tonight. I thought we had great intentions. I think they really just made more shots on us tonight, and we're better on this night.
Can you tell me about what it's like for a team as young as you all to change defenses as frequently as you do throughout a game? Because it seemed like you guys were trying to keep them on their toes all night.
Yeah, I think the best teams in the NBA can do that. Best defenses in the NBA can mix it up, give really good players different looks, especially when a team has guys like they do. You can't, show them the same page. You got to flip the script and give them something different. Because if they get comfortable, it could be a tough game to win.
And Mark said that he told you guys that if you execute like this, each of the last 3 games of the season, you guys can really feel satisfied with whatever the outcomes are. What are the things from tonight that you would really want to like bottle up and make sure that you got to for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I think we were together and we played hard for the whole game tonight. And usually when we do those two things at that high level, we win the game. Now, they're a really good basketball team and they beat us tonight. But if we do that, most nights we'll be good. And like Coach said, we'll be happy where we're at.
We've seen it a lot from Aaron this season where he comes off the bench and brings you guys just a huge lift. What is it about him that allows him to be just so potent anytime he steps onto the floor for you guys?
He knows what he does, and he does it every night. He's a guy that brings energy, offensive rebounds, gets out on the break. He's really good defensively, and then he can play with the ball a little bit. And he's skilled. And he knows what he hangs his hat on every night. And he's been good for us all year. Even though he's been in and out of the rotation, which I can only imagine is tough, he's been good all year.
Andrew Schlecht of The Athletic. It looked like you had a fall during the game where you kind of came up. Looked like you were grabbing at your knee. How are you feeling physically after the game?
Yeah, I'm good. It just like knee to knee. It just hurt in the moment, but I was able to walk it off.
Okay. And then Lou had 5 offensive rebounds tonight and was just kind of flying all over the place to start the game. Just your thoughts on his competitive nature in this game?
Yeah, that's Lou. That's a Lou I expect every night. He does so many things for us of that nature. Energy plays, hustle plays. He's a pit bull out there, and he was tonight for sure.
And then just thoughts on playing against a guy like Kevin Durant. Obviously, he had a lot going on here in OKC. Fans were pretty active throughout the night, booing him as he had the ball. Just your thoughts on playing against Kevin here in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, it was fun tonight. The crowd was in it. They were great, like most nights. But it was fun. It's always fun to play against guys of that talent, and you get to see where you stack up.
Kind of wanted to ask you about the competitive level and just the feel out on the court tonight. Did you guys kind of I don't know, have a buzz between you and Phoenix in the way that you guys were competing?
Yeah, I definitely think that was like, a really competitive game. I think before the game started, you could kind of feel, the intensity and just like, the approach that everybody kind of had from the tip. It was super competitive. We started off trying to trap off the jump ball. So, we wanted to definitely, let them know that like we were here to compete and we wanted to get a win. And, obviously they have a lot of great players who played really well tonight. And, I thought we did a really good job just kind of competing for the full 48 minutes. Just kind of came up a little short.
What's it like for a team as young as yours to change defenses as frequently as you did tonight against such a high-level execution team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just speaks to kind of, the high IQ players that we kind of have, their ability to both adapt and also, understand the things that, our coaches kind of come up with to strategize and, put us in a position to be successful as a team, as individuals. But, I mean, we have a lot of really smart guys who have a good feel for the game. So, being able to just kind of, adjust and adapt to whatever it is we're being, put in on the court or, positions that we find ourselves in, that's huge in terms of, being able to win games and have success.
You're like 48% above the break from
Don't
three
jinx me.
this year.
Don't jinx me.
I'm just wondering, do you see do you see the rim differently from there, or is there anything that's different about those shots for you?
Just continue to work on every shot I get. Every shot I'm going to see in game, I work on them. So, hopefully you don't jinx me and I can stick with it. But, I'm feeling really confident and just kind of, continuing to get, open looks. And, that contributes to, the amount of shots that will go in when you're getting good looks. So just try to take open ones and make sure they're good shots for the team.
The second chance points seemed to help keep you guys in this game throughout the night. Just how were you guys able to be so effective in kind of scooping up those extra possessions?
I mean, that's something that we kind of prioritize as a team every game, trying to find those extra opportunities, out rebound teams. And a big way to kind of, add to a rebounding margin is offensively grabbing offensive rebounds. I think we have a lot of guys who are pretty good at doing it. But it's got to be a consistent thing. And, it kind of helped keep us in the game. We got extra looks. We were able to get extra points off of that, but just still came up short. So,
Andrew Schlecht of The Athletic. You guys are on the razor's edge of staying in the play-in. Do you guys feel the pressure of that day to day?
I wouldn't say feel the pressure, but it's definitely something that, we have an eye on and we're aware of. We're going out there to win every game and, playing our hardest because, we want it. We want to be in the play-in. We want to win games. So I think, we've put ourselves in a really good position and we just got to, try and lock in these last three games to kind of make sure that we can solidify, where we're at.
And then what would a play-in game mean to your group? Just kind of defying, preseason expectations, kind of defying like how young your group is in a way.
Yeah, I mean, we've done a really good job kind of staying within our team and making sure that, we control the things we can control to put ourselves in, any position that we're in. But, I mean, it just speaks volumes to the guys that we have both in the locker room, our coaching staff, the front office, the idea and their visual, plan. It's just, it just speaks volumes to, like, the guys that they've brought in and the guys that, step on the floor and compete every night. So.
Can you just kind of speak to the Suns' talent level? I mean, you were getting switched on to KD, Booker, Chris Paul, even Ayton at times.
Yeah, I mean, they got a deep bench, and then obviously a lot of really great players, in that first five. I mean, at any time, you might try and help one time, but you got to, think about who you're leaving, and you got to think about who you're helping on. So, I mean, they're hard to guard, and it's going to be tough for every team in the NBA to match up with them. And then you bring a couple bench pieces off. They have guys on the bench who may not have played tonight, who can step in and help a lot of teams. So I mean, it's definitely hard to guard, and you got to really be on the top of your game on the defensive end to match up against them. But I thought we did a really good job tonight for the most part. There were a couple possessions where we kind of had a little slip ups, which kind of contributed to their win. But I thought we did a really good job for the most part.